Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. It's a Monday. We're ready to go. Monday, March 24th, 2025. Ready to take this on. Episode 5645. Excited you're with me today. We're ending our due month. If you're with us, very important. You're working your plan. You're brand new. Make sure you're working on getting a plan together as we take you through this step-by-step, month-to-month. Just a quick note, make sure you're checking the website, the new website, hub.morningcoach.com. Watch the weekly video for updates and things that are happening. There's a lot going on. I'm not going to talk about it here on the CoachCast every day just because it'll take up too much time. There's an info section there on meetups and stuff. Make sure you're going to the website and you're probably listening from the website. That's great. If you're an old member, we need you to transition over because it is an amazing website and we're slowly getting everybody over, and we're gonna depreciate the old website. So just make sure you're checking into the website every once in a while, checking by the community, because we have a lot of stuff going on with longevity, with AI, with ILD, which is our expertise business path that so many people like. I've done a lot of this stuff outside as courses and over the years made a lot of money selling courses for $2,000 to $10,000 retreats. I'm bringing it all under one flag, and I'm just trying to simplify the process. Now, you might not need everything, right? But we're going to be here for you with all kinds of things, right? So understand that's what we're doing this year. And our focus is, again, going back to mission, we should be looking at what are we looking to do? We're looking to bring 800 people in a year. I'm not looking to build anything else. I want to build and make this the best system possible so I can shift my focus here. In order to do that, we've got to create systems and structure, and you being here is helping us do that. Now, with that being said, you should be looking at your mission and vision this morning. What are you going after the next 12 months? And what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to become? And are we on plan? You should be doing things that are taking you there. I'm training for my marathon. I broke my sub 25K. I already hit goals that I didn't think I was going to hit. My body's getting in better shape. I'm focused on that. Working on my Morning Coach system and rebuilding, restructuring everything. So it's taking time, but it's an evolutionary system. It's not going to be a course. It's not going to be something that gets antiquated. It's constantly evolving and, evolution through it. It's an evolutionary system with our community. So as we do like AI and we talk about that, like Jurgen's a genius, he's going to share some things. And we'll have different structures so you can go find different ideas and thoughts as we put this together this summer. And it's just going to grow and get better and better and better and better. And the value is going to increase and increase and increase because that's what I believe in. And once we do that, now that's my mission, right? My values is sharing, or my vision. Now it's time for morning ritual. Did you do some self-care this morning? Are you doing it? You're listening to CoachCast. That's fantastic, right? Did you organize with the planner or manual stuff or however you're organizing? Did you do the 7 Ps this morning to really get the perspective and the priorities? That's what it's all about. And then, of course, like I mentioned, stop by the community for accountability, questions, and support. That's what we do here. And then every day, there's content. Like every day, we're evolving, finding new things that are going on in the world that are going to help you do whatever it is that you want. You might not want to run a marathon. That's fine. Most people don't. I'm not here to do marathon teaching. Though David asked for some speed tips, I will put that up there. We're here to provide you the system for you individually, and that's what's so important. And with that being said, what are we doing this week? Well, we got a big week planned for you because I'm going to talk about, and again, this is not about any specific issue, but we're going to get into addiction and recovery a little bit. Now, we're not therapists. I want you to understand that. This is about systems, planning, organization, business, health, wealth. But when it comes down to health, right, we could talk a little bit about mental health, but we aren't therapists. We're not doctors. But we still want to understand why we may be addicted to something or why we're recovering something and why that's a critical role in our lives, because we all have addictions. I'm very OCD. When I do something, if I'm golfing, I have Titleist T100s. I've got the best driver. When I go out there, I want the best. That's an addiction. Okay. That's just, we all have certain things. I'm a quick person, fast start. That's an addiction to certain things, right? And so I got to be careful. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to get into that a little bit. Then tomorrow, we're going to talk about Quit, Part 2, the book study. Really rock that. And then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about sticking with great habits. We know there's books, Atomic Habits. There's a lot of great books out there, but it's a constant reminder that's important. You can read a book and do nothing. I mean, I did it most of my career. I read books, applied a few things, but really didn't apply anything because I didn't have a consistent system. Now you have a consistent system. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those great habits. We're also going to talk about, on Thursday, I've got a couple questions on letting go and change, and then having issues with that change. You know, really being able to understand that change that you're making in yourself, and is it something you want to do? Deep, deep day, but it's an important one. Friday, we're going to talk about impulse spending. Impulse spending is another one of those things that, you know, I work with a lot of CEOs. We have a lot of CEOs here. You know, the first thing is, let's hire somebody for that, right? That's an impulse. It's like, well, let's slow down. Why do we want to bring somebody else in? Do we need to bring somebody else in? Do we have a system? And then also, like, even in content creation, oh, I need that camera. No, you don't. Right? I have to slow myself down. So impulse spending tools and control on Friday, going to be a good one. Dr. Paul on Saturday, longevity, we're still rocking that. And then Sunday, dealing with grief. Lost a good friend last week, and I want to talk a little bit about that just to have it in the library in case you're dealing with losses. The older we get, the more friends we lose, right? It's just part of life, unfortunately. And there are stages of grief, and we're going to talk a little bit about that on Sunday, but we're going to make it a positive thing, but we're going to get into it a little bit on Sunday so you have it in your library. So addiction and recovery, it is important, and organization plays a role in really recovering and maintaining structure. I don't care if you're addicted to alcohol, you know, that's typically what we think. It's drugs, alcohol, porn, but there's so many other addictions, and some are good, right? I'd rather have you replace something with a good thing than a bad thing, but typically addiction is not a good thing. Like when you get OCD and you're just all in on something, we've got to realize that it could harm, and it might not be good. You know, addiction just isn't about substances. It can be behaviors, like shopping is a big addiction. Social media is a big addiction. Gambling is addiction. And so we want to recognize addiction as a loss of control and a need for a structured recovery or structured environment. Now, I need that. Look, I don't feel that I was ever an alcoholic. In fact, AA, which I think is great, has helped a lot of people. I have a little bit of an issue with it because my buddies always say, come to AA. I don't want to go to AA and say, hey, I'm JB and I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. I don't want to reaffirm that. And that's their philosophy. Now, it works for some people. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be negative about anything. If it works for you, great. That's the way I say. But I am an I am person, meaning the things I state, then those things come true. So I'm very cautious with that. You know, I love Yul Brynner in the Ten Commandments when he says, as it is written, so shall it be done. That's the way I am. So I change my vocabulary. So that's the one issue I have with the AA thing. Now, I don't feel that I'm actually addicted. I just don't have a shutoff valve, right? So I haven't drank this year, feeling great. Training's great. Don't have any urge or anything to drink. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, man, I might have a Jack and Coke, and I'll text my buddies who have been through rehab, and they'll say, no, don't do it. And I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to drink, right? But I don't need it. I do some kava stuff. I do some hard ketones. I found this You Relax they sent me I like. If I want to wind down at night, I can have one of those, or I can have a hard keto. I don't need alcohol in my system. But I recognize that the addiction part of it is not the alcohol itself. Is just when I have one drink, it's really hard not just to have one. And that's my life. Like, so that's everything I do. It's very impulsive. I'm very black and white. You know, I'm very intense, obviously, right? So I have to understand that. You have to understand that. So recovery through structure and organization is important. We got to create routines and habits. If we want to really make changes, and I love the emails that I'm getting. There's so many people doing things. I mean, I really went from, I'm leaving Facebook and my mom saying, I'd love to see your post, to loving it, to see the inspiration. So many people, right? So many people are being inspired by the things that I'm doing. And there's still some negative. Like I'll post, you know, I had somebody hammer me on YouTube, even though I'm not doing YouTube anymore. He's like, you paid for all your subscribers because your videos suck. And I'm like, whatever, you know? But at the end of the day, it's routines and habits. That's what Morning Coach is about. That's why I'm here every day. You know, if you can get in a routine, you can create a habit. That's what we talk about, that morning ritual. It's going to help you. And then we want to declutter your environment, and it will declutter your mind. It's time to let go of things. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. So many people hold on to things. And when you're gripping onto it, you can't allow new things into your life. It's time to clear the clutter. Okay, very important. And we want to use tools, planners, checklists, accountability systems to stay on track. Again, that's one thing we can do here at Morning Coach. You know, I'm not big in accountability. You hear me talk about it all the time. We're all adults, but there are times we need it. There's times when it works. And sometimes we need to be held accountable and for our own best interest, right? So we want to use the new planner and use that. We've got longevity stuff. I know it's taken us a little while. That's April 1st launch. But we're bringing you things because this is an evolution of a system. And I really want you to understand, it's not a course. This is always evolving. We're listening to the community and we're bringing things to you. The one thing that's consistent, it's going to be consistent, is me, right? I'm here every day. And you're going to be learning and getting it. But your planning structure is so important when it comes to recovery. And it's just about change, right? So how do we overcome addiction? How do we overcome something? Let's say it's to alcohol, or let's say it's to a behavior that we do, shopping. We have this impulse spend. We go to Amazon and every day we're just getting packages, right? So awareness is the first step, okay? We want to acknowledge the issue. And we talk about this with everything we do here. Emotional intelligence, being aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it is part of what we do here at Morning Coach. It's why I wanted you to wake up with me and, whether you do your self-care or whatever, and then you sit down and you organize your day and you're listening to me. It's like, okay, I'm thinking differently. That's the greatest, I think, compliment I get. It's like, JB, I'm thinking differently because I'm thinking about things differently. And then we want to have accountability, support systems with mentors, groups, or friends. And again, depending on the level of addiction, you should always go to a healthcare practitioner. If you need therapy, go. If it's very serious, go. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. I think that's another thing a lot of us have a problem with. It's like, go ask for help if you need it. And then the other A is action, small, consistent steps towards change. That's how big things happen. Talking about marathon training, you cannot run a marathon in a week. You cannot run a marathon in a month. You cannot at least run it, race it, okay? You can go out there and do it and get through it and run it in 6 hours. But to run a 3 hour and 30-minute marathon, you're not going to do it. And you're not even going to do it probably in 6 months, right? If you haven't trained yet. It takes years to get the adaptation to be able to handle that endurance. Now I'm getting there. My body's really getting there. But my point is, it's small, consistent steps over time. That's going to make the difference. And then we have to adjust, learning from relapses or struggles without self-judgment. PDCA. What are we in? A do month. Why are we in a do month? Because we should be working our plan. We adjust accordingly consistently. Is it working? Is it not working? Last March, it wasn't working for me. Coming into kind of looking at things in February and March, it was like, you have got to get healthy. It's ridiculous what you're doing. This year, again, looked at the business. Some things weren't working. I had to make some changes. Okay? So it's awareness, accountability, action, and adjustments. That's what's going to help you. Then one of the things I want, and I scream about this, is your circadian rhythm and recovery. So you got to learn how to sleep and then the biological rhythms that affect addiction recovery. The most important thing, it's really important, is to keep a consistent wake and sleep times for mental clarity. I talk about this so much when the time changes because I get so angry because people don't realize the work that I'm doing, the government, who doesn't accept this and doesn't keep the time the same, is killing people. Literally. Drives me crazy. We work so hard to create habits and get people on the right track. And then, we got an hour change. And now all of a sudden your circadian rhythm's open. It's important. And we want to make sure we're looking at the same wake and sleep times. Takes me a couple weeks to get back readjusted once they change the damn time. And I'm against it because I know what it does to you physically and psychologically. So understand that addiction isn't, always about physical things or drugs or alcohol. It's behavioral based, and we're addicted to certain things. Like I want you to get addicted to Morning Coach. I know there's gonna be days you don't like me. I get it. There's days you don't want to listen. There's days I'm gonna stink. Right? I try to do my best every single day. I do. But we want to get addicted to the good things, right? The positive things. Running, for example, has replaced. I'm addicted to it. I'll admit it. I love the dopamine. I love the hit, but it's so much more positive than drinking. So I went from drinking a Jack and Coke or a couple scotches and listening to 70s music, which a lot of people would say, oh, that's okay, just wind down. But it was ruining my life. Not that I was doing it that much, but every time I did it, 3 or 4 days, I was negative. And I got, we were talking money. I got a PGA professional that needs me there on a Saturday night when they're getting ready to win a tournament. It's millions of dollars for them. Right? So it was ruining my life. And now I run in the morning and I still listen to my music. I'm getting the same effect, but it's a different addiction. So understand them and check in with yourselves this much. Use the planner to track that consistency area of things you're looking to change. If you're not using the planner, I'm cool. Then do another place to be consistent. We're going to be bringing that in Morning Coach again. Check the news area every week. Check the video and the news area for all the stuff we're doing. And again, don't do everything. Do what works for your mission and vision. Okay? So that way we're working together. But the first, real quick, be aware. Acknowledge things that are happening in your life. What's working and what isn't. And then take accountability and get support systems. If you need support, let us know. And then take action, small, consistent steps towards change, 1% improvement a day. And then adjust. We're going to have you do that. That's part of Morning Coach. You'll hear me say, we're in a plan month, we're in a do month, we're in a check month, and you'll be helping. I'll be helping you with that. But right now we're in a do month. So you don't have to make massive changes unless things are massively wrong. Okay, so let's get out there and have a great week. I love you bunches. And I'll be back tomorrow as we start getting with Quit and ending the book study, which was a lot of fun. We're going to get through Quit. We had the dip and the Quit this month, so we had a couple books. So let's get into that. But today, if you have some issues, 1, ask for help. Go to a healthcare practitioner if you need somebody. And 2, come in a community. I mean, obviously it's not something serious. We're here to support you. That's what we do. Okay, I love you. Go have a great one, and I'll be back right here tomorrow on MorningCoach.com.